What's up guys, it's Dan here from Unprofessional Gamers. I've got my morning coffee with me, but I haven't slept, so this video does get a little bit rambly, then let's just blame that on the reason. Okay, so with E3 right around the corner, I figured I'd take the chance to talk about one of the games I'm really looking forward to seeing more from this year, and that's Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of War, sorry. Which is the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, for anyone that's, for whatever reason, unfamiliar. Now, I'm a huge Tolkien fan, so I'm pretty hyped for this game, and I try not to get too hyped about games anymore, but when I do get hyped about them, it makes it that little bit more special, and part of the reason for that is because the devs have been doing live streams where they're showing off the development process and the progress that the game's been making. So I'll link to some of those in the description to the channel where you can find them. If you are interested, I highly recommend that you check those out, and if you still want to hear my opinion on some of the things that I hope we'll see in the game, then you can come back here afterwards, but they're pretty good videos, so I don't blame you if you just go over there. Anyway, as a huge Tolkien fan, I just want to get this out of the way really quickly first. There's been a lot of concern that the game looks like it's getting even further away from the source material of Lord of the Rings. I mean, hopefully not as far away as the fucking Hobbit was, but, you know, either way, I've been a huge Tolkien fan since I was 9 years old, and the way that I look at this is sort of the way that I look at Logan, how it's a different interpretation of the source material, it's a different timeline, pretty much. I mean, yes, there was a comic book, but let's not get into that. But I hope you guys know what I mean. It's a darker look at Lord of the Rings. It turns it into a dark fantasy. I don't have a problem with that as a fan. I don't think it's worth getting my knickers in a knot over. If that's something you have a problem with, then I completely understand that, because this series means a lot to me too. But I'm so hungry for new content from it that I don't really mind seeing how other people, other creative people, interpret the story. It's the same reason I don't have a problem with reading Christopher Tolkien, even though he's just basically rewriting his dad's work. Anyway, with that out of the way, I want to talk about some of the features that we've seen in the live streams, and some of the features that I hope we'll see, or hopefully get confirmed to be in the game, and I want to have a discussion with you guys down below if you are watching this, whether you think they will get in the game, whether you agree with me that they should be in the game, that sort of thing. Anyway, I've only got a few points, so let me get right into them. The first one is, in the most recent live stream at the time of recording, we saw the player get killed by an Ologhai, actually it was, and that Ologhai, or troll, took the player character's weapon.
His pants. So this guy, prior to this, couldn't even afford pants, let alone a tribe. But now, successfully.
What is this?
Oh no!
This is nothing.
Don't do it. Not the sword breaker.
Oh no!
Okay, so in this particular case as well, where he's actually smashed Ellie's weapon, which is obviously a big incentive for vengeance, but the other thing that does is all of your weapons and your gear through the gear system actually dropped according to the tribe, the traits, the class, the role, everything of that particular nemesis. So although she lost that sword, once she defeats that Olog and gets it back, it's going to be an upgraded and even more powerful version of that same weapon, so we're not taking that away.
Now, we know that in Shadow of War, as opposed to Shadow of Mordor, you can actually obtain multiple weapons and swap between them, so it's a little bit different to the rune system. I think we still have runes anyway, but you can customize your character a little bit more. We can actually pick up unique weapons and armors now. Anyway, what I wanted to see from that is, obviously I'm not expecting a troll to use a little, you know, one-handed sword, but one of the devs mentioned that you will get that weapon back if you kill the Uruk that took it from you, or the enemy that took it from you. So what I'd like to see is the enemies, if an Uruk takes it from us, I'd actually like to see them use it against us, not just take it from us and then we get it back. Now, the developer mentioned that it also gets an upgrade when you do get it back, so that makes sense to me that maybe if you start a vendetta with an Uruk who takes your weapon, maybe you don't even get it back for the first 3 fights with him. Maybe for whatever reason he always escapes, you can't decapitate him, whatever, it becomes its own little storyline. Excuse me, I just think that would be really cool, and maybe the upgrade path has something to do with you know, the interactions that you have with him, instead of just, okay, he took your weapon, you're not going to see it until you kill him, oh, here's your weapon back, it's got a new rune. Which seemed to be what he was implying, but hopefully it's not that. I'd actually like to see that unique sword come out in combat, and he says something like, oh, I've killed you, I killed you and took this sword, and I like it, and I'm going to kill you with it again. Something like that. Then let's say in that fight you burn him and he escapes, so he develops the trait Fear of Fire, and that means that the weapon, when you get the weapon back, it's never going to have a fire element on it because he hates fire. Something like that, where it starts to tell its own story with the weapon. They have showed off with the runes that you can tell your own story with the runes a little bit more, so hopefully they go down this path with weapons and armor. And this is probably the main big point that made me even want to do this video, is because I want to see an Eric pull out my fucking sword and try and kill me with it again. I just think that would be so cool. Anyway, the next point that I have is the ability to climb in trees, and I want to see forests. Now, we've only seen one area pretty much in the live streams and in the gameplay footage, maybe two, which is where they've obviously got a stronghold set up, and that's where they're showing off all of the new abilities, yada yada yada. They have mentioned that there is more terrain, obviously, that this game is more focused on larger battles, so hopefully we'll see different terrain types. Obviously there's 9 tribes confirmed at the moment, and their strongholds all end up different, so that's kind of cool. But if you think about Shadow of Mordor, any elevation you get that wasn't in a fortress was just a rock, a plateau, and that's it. So that was really the only way you could traverse the environment, and it got kind of boring and samey. The map wasn't too big, so it just felt like that they were just raising rocks up for you to climb on all over the place. Which isn't to say it was particularly bad, but I just think more could have been done with it. So I'd like to see forest environments. That mentioned that there's patrols roaming around. Maybe one of the tribes is better in forests. Maybe the cavalry tribe don't patrol forests because their Caragors can't navigate it as easily. And that gives us a chance to use our ranger skills to climb into trees, all that sort of thing. Now there's a lot of locations in Shadow of War, as we've seen, so fingers crossed that's already in, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. The third point that I want to see is better character building. Now in the live streams they've showed off some of the character builds and the new skills, which is kind of cool. It's all been redone, so again I recommend you have a look at that. I don't want to get too into it here, but what it is basically you'll get a default trait, so say it's executions, or combat finishers as they were called in Shadow of Mordor. So you get that, and then you get that as a basic skill, and then you can upgrade it down 3 different paths. One is better, one is more skill based, one is more defensive based, etc, etc. But as they were showing those off, they were switching between the defensive based ones, the attacking based ones for that skill, and they each gave different buffs. I'd rather see us be able to pick all 3 of those. Like, let's say our whole playstyle is based on executions. Let us pick all 3 of those so that we're the execution god. Now this also sort of comes into the fact that in Shadow of Mordor it was too easy to become a god. You could pretty much unlock everything by the time you actually got to the second area, and then you were just walking through, which led to a lot of playthroughs where people just didn't upgrade their character for more of a challenge. Now, we are seeing increased difficulty in Shadow of War, which is good. The enemies are going to ramp up with you a lot better, which is also good. That's going to help fix it a lot. But I'd like to see us not funneled into a character build per se, not something like Fallout where you have, you know, X amount of traits that you can take and that's your build. But I'd like to see it take longer for us to get to that point. Maybe that's an endgame thing, a New Game Plus thing, but at least for that playthrough, what we're getting is, okay, I'm a melee character, maybe you can respec, I don't fucking know, but okay, I'm a melee character, I've got all the melee traits, and I can't really get anything else until way later in the game, or whatever it is. Maybe you're a hybrid build, because what that gives you is replayability, because the next playthrough, you might say, okay, I want to focus on ranged, I like the look of this range thing, now I'm a ranger character who uses his bow more often, and that gives you way more replayability. So I'd like to see that, and it looks like they're moving in that direction. I'm not too confident it's going to be enough in the right direction. But again, we'll see. Any of this could be disproved by any live stream that they choose to do at any point. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. The fourth point is a really small one. It's my last point for this video. But I want to see Liam O'Brien's Smeagol or Gollum return. Just because he's a great voice actor. I love the way that he does the character. I love a lot of the voice actors in Shadow of Mordor. I think they really nailed the feel of it. Even though people said it's not like Tolkien, they really hinted at some really deep lore in some of the places, which shows that they do care about the source material a lot. So I'm fine with them doing whatever they want. And honestly, it did make me feel immersed in the world of Middle-earth, well, the world of Mordor, really, with a lot of the voice acting. And in particular, Liam O'Brien's performance as Smeagol is really cool. Like, he just does such a good job of it. Yes, it's a lot like, why have I forgotten the actor's name? Andy Serkis's performance, but that performance is so iconic, you wouldn't be able to get away from that. It's basically a really good impression, which, again, I'm fine with. A lot of people aren't, but, you know, I just love hearing that, like, so juicy, sweet. Anyone who can do that, and that was actually pretty good effort on my part, but anyone who can do that instantly goes up in my books. Like, he just does the character so well, and I know that's like a complete side point, honestly, 100% personal opinion, but I'd love to see the character come back, even just for a little bit, with Liam O'Brien voicing him, because I really love the way that they handled the character in Shadow of Mordor. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly. I don't know why, if you're still here, why you haven't either gone to those live streams or why you actually listen to the opinions of someone with like 30 subscribers. But I really enjoy doing it. I want to get into these types of videos. I haven't really done it obviously before. But I've got some ideas for stuff like Elder Scrolls and Fallout that I'd really like to talk to you guys about. Get involved with the community a little bit and talk about some ideas. So let me know if there's anything you guys want to see, and maybe I'll even do a follow-up video where we talk about some of those things, or if I just have any more ideas. Anyway guys, that's going to do it. I need to burp. There it is. Make sure you check out those live streams because they're really cool, and I love seeing how the game is coming along. So hopefully you guys get excited for this game too, because I'm recommending it to every one of my friends who isn't into Tolkien, and I'm trying to get them into it. So yeah. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video, so thanks for watching or listening, and I'll catch you guys soon. Ciao. Little